Here is my match week 4 Premier League predictions. Starting off, we have Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest have just sacked their manager and have appointed Ange Postecoglou. So I think he probably does need more time to get his tactics set in before they'll start seeing results at Forest. Also, they've got to go away to Arsenal, who are obviously a very good team. Last game for Arsenal was away at Liverpool. They lost 1-0. Before that though, their home match against Leeds, they won 5-0. So Arsenal have been actually playing pretty good football. I think they will win this one. That Forest, who just lost 3-0 to West Ham in their last game. So, who am I going to go with? Like I say earlier, I'm going to back Arsenal for this. I'm going to say Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Then we have Bournemouth versus Brighton. Two South Coast teams clashing. Now, Bournemouth have, despite losing a lot of their best players, they've still been able to keep playing well. And Donny Areola has been doing a really good job there. Compare that to Brighton, who we all know by now, they always buy players cheap, sell them for big profit, and somehow have already someone better lined up to come in. Now, will this be Jorginho Ruta coming in now to replace João Pedro? I believe so. I don't think he's a bad player as well, Ruta. So, will this work out for Brighton? I don't think so. I'm going to go with Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1. Then it's Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. Now, Sunderland have done really well at home so far, winning both their games, but lost their one away day to Burnley. Am I going to back them to turn that around for away games? No, I do think Crystal Palace are going to get past Sunderland. It's big for them that they've kept on to the likes of Mateta and Gahey. Obviously, Gahey was so close to joining Liverpool. Didn't happen. So now Crystal Palace have kept him. I think that will help them a lot in this game. And I'm going to say it's going to be Crystal Palace 2, Sunderland 0. Then we have Everton versus Aston Villa. Now, Villa have actually not been doing that great at the start of this season. I think they've only scored one, maybe even might not even scored a goal yet this season. But that's Everton, who've been doing quite well under David Moyes at this new stadium. And they are at home again in this game. I'm going to back them to win. I'm going to say Everton 2, Aston Villa 0. Then we have Fulham versus Leeds. Now, Leeds United at home have been alright, but away, their only one away game has been at the Emirates. They got beat 5-0. So, do I think they're going to turn their away form around? No, I don't. I think Fulham are going to go on to take the win. Obviously, you've got a few players in on deadline day, and I think that's probably going to help them a bit, because they're all like attackers. So, what's the score going to be? I'm going to back Fulham to win 2-1. Then we have Newcastle United versus Wolves. Newcastle have been struggling to actually get the ball in the net in a lot of their games. 0-0 in 2 of their games so far. Those being Aston Villa away and Leeds United away. However, at home, they did lose 3-2 to Liverpool. So they did score in that game, but they did lose. However, they have finally got themselves a striker in, and they've also got Isak off their shoulders. This is going to improve them. I think it will. I think Newcastle will beat Wolves, who are not a great team. I'm going to say Newcastle 2, Wolves 0. Then we have West Ham versus Tottenham. Now, West Ham finally got their first win of the season with a big 3-0 win at Nottingham Forest. However, they didn't really do much until they brought on Crescencio Somerville. He changed the game. So if he starts in this one, I think West Ham will actually be playing alright against Tottenham. They have 2 Spurs, who've obviously got a decent attack, but did get beat in their last match. How's this going to go? Well, the last 3 games at London Stadium between West Ham and Tottenham have all ended 1-1. And I think that's going to continue it. I'm going to say West Ham 1, Tottenham 1. Then we have Brentford versus Chelsea. Now, who's going to do this? Well, should be, when you look at the squads, you'd think Chelsea are much better. However, Brentford did actually make some decent deals in the summer. Obviously brought in the likes of Kelleher. They brought in Wataro. They've also brought in Jordan Henderson. They're not bad names to bring in, but they've also lost Wissa, lost Mbuemo. So how's this going to play out for them? Well, I think they'll lose this one to Chelsea. I'm going to say Chelsea 2, Brentford 0. Then we have Burnley versus Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are the only team to be 3 out of 3 so far this season, and I think they're going to make it 4 out of 4. I think they're a lot stronger than Burnley, and I think they'll win quite comfortably here. I'm going to say Burnley 0, Liverpool 3. Then we have the last game, Man City versus Man United. Where's this going to go? Well, it's at the Etihad, so I'm leaning currently more towards City. However, both teams have struggled at the start of the season. Who am I going to lean this towards? Well, like I say, I think Man City are going to take it, and I'm going to say Man City 3, Man United 1. Now, that's my predictions for this match week in the Premier League. Let me know yours in the comments below, and while you're at it, make sure to subscribe.